Welcome back, everybody. Rewatchers Council, and look at what we have here. Not only do we have yours truly, the dumb snark, but we also have council members. Really cool one here. Adelia, how are you doing?
I have a really bad headache today, so I'm not doing all that great, but I'm here.
Also here, and not on starting 11 as he previously thought, but on the Rewatchers Council with us all.
Is this
Ferris
not starting
Wisdom.
11? This is
No,
not
no,
starting 11? No?
not starting
I feel
11
like I feel
today.
like we were on starting 11. Right?
Yes.
We were
Yeah.
definitely talking some
Yeah.
soccer before
Yeah.
the show started.
No need. But I'm happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here.
We were
Big full.
excited.
Guys,
Sure.
just take a moment.
Yep.
All three of us are here.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
beautiful,
it's
beautiful.
rare when all three of us
It's a
are
beautiful
here.
day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A great man once said. Um,
Yes,
yeah. So it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Except for the the demons and the
I
and the
I I didn't have Ferris pulling a Mister Rogers reference on
yeah,
us
yeah,
on my bingo card for this
exactly.
show,
You know what?
but
I wish I
Exactly.
had a cardigan and a pair of slippers to put on right now.
Let's be real. If someone was Mr. Rogers, it would be me, Rob. Let's be real.
One hundred
You-
percent. That's
yeah,
immediately where I thought it's like
exactly.
who'd be a classic, Mister Rogers Ferris Mathana.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're kind of sour, Rob. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
a little
excited
bit.
for it.
No, you literally were yelling a couple minutes ago about somebody.
Oh
But it
yeah,
is
I
what it
like
is.
yelling at people. I'd be what's his name? What's that guy's name? King Tuesday? Was that his name? That stupid puppet. Anyways, guys,
See, you just called that puppet stupid. See, prove my point.
it doesn't even talk. Just a head that moves around. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Anyways, come on, guys. Charlie had more personality than the king. Now, guys, tune in next week for our Mr. Rogers rewatch program starring
Yes,
Ferris Mathana.
exactly.
Uh, we're
I'll
here to
do it.
talk the IN team, guys. Oh, things happen in this one. Things are happening in this
mm-hmm.
one. First off, original air date. It's February 8th of 2000. Written by prolific writer on the show, David Fury. His last, of course, was Doomed, which he co-wrote with Marty Noxon and Jane Espenson. Of course, he did that over his wedding weekend, and also Fear itself, I guess, would be his last solo written show.
Mhm.
Directed by David Contner, again, prolific director for not only this but Angel as well. His last one, The Harsh Light of Day, Ferris. Truly terrible. Truly terrible. Anyways, number one movie, Scream 3. Scream 3 finally makes it to number one in the box office. I don't know. I don't even remember. I think that's the one with the where they go onto the set of the movie,
Is that the one with
stabbed or
Hayden
whatever.
Panettiere?
I can't remember. I can't remember exactly. They all kind of blend together
Oh.
after a while. Number one song in the U.S. Mercifully, it's the last week for I Know I Loved You by Savage Garden. We will never have to mention it again. Not for this top spot in the U.S. anyways, after this. And
Again, I've
Yeah,
never listened to that song ever.
you're a lucky man.
Scream 3 is the one that where Ghostface begins killing the cast of the film within the film stab film.
Right. Yeah. Oh, boy. Okay. Number one song in the UK, a song called Rise by Gabrielle. Again, never heard of it. So, your intrepid reporter went online. He found the song. All it is basically her singing over "Knocking on Heaven's Door," the Bob Dylan version. And that's it. It's like
Oh.
I don't. She probably made $0 off this entire thing. Number one song in Canada, "Faded" by Soul Decision, the Canadian boy band. Faded by Soul. This
Never
one's not
heard
so
that
bad.
one.
It's not so bad as
Never
far as
heard it.
the boy bandish stuff goes. This one, all right. You know, it's obviously there can be a lot worse.
What's this?
Uh,
What's the Savage Garden song again?
oh God, this is the worst thing you've ever done. Like, yeah, like honestly, I would suggest not doing it on your computer. It'd be
Okay.
better if somebody found porn on your computer
Hey,
than
whoa, whoa,
than this
whoa,
song,
Rob.
than
No,
this
it
song,
no
than this
no it
song,
wouldn't.
than this song.
No.
Yeah, you can excuse it. It's
Look, I'm
called
the Oasis fan. Okay, all right.
I
Let's.
I I know I loved you by Savage Garden.
Jesus, Savage Garden were not that bad.
Oh boy, it's like
They're not great, but they weren't that bad.
the 90s Air Supply, guys. All right.
You know, it's like the way people talk about Nickelback, the way you're talking about Savage Garden.
I talk worse about Nickelback.
Is
Way
Nickelback really that bad? You know, I grew up actually liking Nickelback.
Country music through a distortion pedal. It is terrible. Okay.
They did the theme song for Monday Night Raw. That's why I was a big fan growing up.
They're Canadian, and there's a thing here called the CRTC. So we have to have so much Canadian content on all radio stations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what got played? A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Photograph.
Oh my god, that's what people get play at darts and stuff like that to get me mad. Get me mad at them on purpose. They'll play Nickelback.
Didn't they do a song for like Spider-Man?
He did.
Chad Kroeger did. What was it?
Yeah.
Hero?
Yeah.
My hero.
No, that's Foo Fighters. That's Foo Fighters.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Let's be careful about the tunes.
Wait. There's two songs named Hero by two rock bands.
There's several songs named.
There's
Hero,
Mariah Carey's Hero.
Well, then there's Enrique Iglesias' Hero.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of heroes.
How about we get on with the show?
My breath away, guys. Now, okay. Well, to do that.
Speaking of heroes.
Personal hero of mine, Buffy Summers. Now, DVD synopsis time. As Spike tries to elude the Initiative's commandos, Buffy gets a look at the Initiative's underground complex and discovers she's not as welcome as first thought. I'd say that, yeah, no kidding, she's
accurate.
not.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think that Professor Walsh kind of turns on a dime on this one. Yes, they only had Lindsay Krause for so long. They knew that, so they had to, I guess, speed things up here at the end quite quickly. Now, we're going to begin.
Wait, what happened to Lindsay Krause?
She was the
she's
that played Professor Walsh.
Yeah, I know. Why
she only had a short contract. They only had her for a little bit. And it's one of the creators' favorite things is to get rid of seemingly major characters.
Yes.
So, yeah, well, there you go. We begin with a major character. We begin with Willow Rosenberg. She's seemingly performing a love spell. You know, she's asking for the heart she desires. In actuality, she's just trying to cheat at poker, as Xander would call it. Now, they're trying to...
no integrity. No integrity in the game.
Well, you know, it's a game between friends. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. As a great man once said. They're unsuccessfully here trying to teach Anya how to play. And this is when Xander brings up his brand new money-making venture. And you got to love season 4 for the many hats Xander Harris is going to use. This time, his new venture, drugs. No, it's not drugs. Well,
something worse, actually.
Yeah, it's actually worse. He's the new local distributor of Boost bars, which I guess were a real thing. Boost bars, maybe not.
Maybe they were. I thought this was a TV show thing.
I think they were, yeah.
Yeah, I think that they were. Probably not.
That's right. Just write pyramid scheme on your forehead.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right. Willow passes on one. Says, about the bad aftertasteness that they got. We learned that Buffy's out with Riley. Of course, they're spending some time together here, guys. Well, it's that new relationship. They got that new relationship glow. Mm-hmm. You know how it is. We also learned that Xander and Anya enjoy a good spanking. Which is uncomfortable for Willow to hear, I'm sure. Xander admits liking Riley, but questions the whole initiativeness about it.
Willow doesn't get uncomfortable. She's upset. We'll find out later why.
Maybe she's a little jealous. A little jealous.
I looked it up.
Oh boy.
The Boost bars that Xander is trying to sell are energy bars that came in 3 flavors: cherry berry, maple walnut, and almond licorice.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not real.
No.
Thank you.
There are a brand of chocolate bars in the UK called Boost bars made by Cadbury.
Cadbury makes everything. In the UK, I think Nestle too, but they're from the Swiss. They're Swiss. Anyways, he wants to know what these initiative guys have in store. You know what I mean? He wants to know what they're up to. But what they're currently up to is getting their asses beaten, like directly in half by one Buffy Summers. They're
Damn
doing
right.
they're doing a little training exercise in the woods. It took them, what did she say, 42 minutes to track her, 28 seconds for her to beat the crap out of everybody. Professor Walsh is going to call it impressive. Riley looks like proud. He looks like a proud boyfriend. Graham says she's awesome, so, good on Graham. Forrest is just going to grunt in pain. I think, Forrest is a little prickly when it comes to Buffy. He's moving in on his man. So you would think. Riley says that everybody loves her. I guess he's trying to include Ferris in this. But Maggie Walsh, looking a little concerned now. For someone who was very proud of Buffy on multiple occasions in the show so far, and very excited to have a Slayer before, a little concern on her face. Now, at the cafeteria the next day, Buffy's going to start bragging to Willow more of this stuff. Willow has to take this a lot from Buffy whenever she has a new demon fighting buddy, like with Faith and stuff like that. It happened like that too. Willow's going to remind her, yeah, we got these plans. Remember with the good old bronze? Buffy says now she can't wait. She says she's been missing everybody. Willow's justifying her when Buffy's attention gets stolen here when she spots Riley in the lunch line. She asks how Willow's night went and reminds her she should get used to Anya because I don't think she's going to go anywhere. Her and Xander seem pretty tight. And then she notices that all Riley's grabbing in line is a Twinkie. So she gets a little upset.
Very upsetting.
I'm a little upset with that.
It's very upsetting.
This is where Willow complains about her lack of spankings. Everyone's getting spanked around here except Willow. Poor Willow. Anyways, Giles, for some reason...
This show was definitely not for children. That's all. I just realized this. This show was never for children, right? Ever. No, never. Okay, it makes sense.
No, it's going to get worse.
I was very uncomfortable reading this entire scene.
It was going to get worse.
Because I was like, the children. And then I realized, the children are not supposed to watch this show.
No, this was not meant for the children.
Yeah. Even the vernacular, the Josh speak is all very teens-ish oriented, especially when you compare it to other teen shows around the same time, like Dawson's Creek. They all talk like adults. These guys actually tried to talk like teens and stuff like that. I don't want to wait, Ferris, all right? To talk about Buffy anymore, so I'm going to start talking about. Anyways, so we get Giles going over to Spike's new crypt. Spike tells him he could use a woman's touch and asks Giles if he's available. I thought that was a very good burn. Giles has come by to honor.
He misses Harmony, doesn't he?
Yeah. Nobody missed Harmony, I don't think. Except for me.
I miss Harmony.
Yeah. He's come by to honor the $300. So Giles is going to pay him, even though Spike did total the Giles mobile.
Yeah, I know, right? Why would you give him $300? Like, you ruined my car.
Because he's a man of his word.
Giles is a man of his word.
Yeah. He is a man of his damn word, Ferris. Oh my God.
That's valid. The car accident led everyone towards that.
Right.
With Giles, that's true.
He's thinking the best of everybody. He's wondering if Spike has thought maybe his new demon powers has something to do with a higher calling for him. Spike just tells him to scram. He's done, and he's all done with the Scoobies now. He's done with being a white hat good guy. So we're gonna see Buffy and Riley now sharing a little quiet, seemingly tender moment together. He's being a perfect gentleman, asking if she would prefer to wait, but she's ready. She's ready now, Ferris. It's been long enough. It's time. They then get scanned by the initiative's elevator scanner. There it goes in. It says new retinal scan detected. Summers Buffy. How would it know if it's new? Is she already in the thing? Like, she must have already. I don't know how she would have already had the eyes scanned in the thing.
Happened either.
Yeah,
I think they probably entered her information, and they were waiting for the retinal scan to activate.
Yeah, they just took a picture of her. It's like close up on the eye or something.
Like when you have when you do a new account on your YouTube, be like, or like on Netflix, it's like new account.
Those don't generally involve retinal scans.
Yeah, no, but the retinal scan is the activation. It's like, now you gotta scan your eyeball to activate the account.
Well, what if it was someone else?
Yeah.
And then it comes up and says what? That it's Buffy?
Yeah, what if your cousin's borrowing your retinal eye account right
Well,
now?
then that's a big miscalculation by Riley because it's in his room.
It's in
Don't
the
let
it's in the
don't let.
hallway. It's in the hallway.
Is it? No, I thought it was in the room.
The elevator to go into the initiative, that's in the hall for sure. Now,
Underneath that frat house.
little kind of a Doctor Who-ish reference. Maybe the first, maybe not the last Doctor Who-ish reference they have here. When she goes down there, she's kind of amazed that it looks bigger, on the inside, a little TARDIS-y kind of thing.
Is Doctor Who going on right now?
Well, actually, at that time, no.
No.
It wasn't. It was over. Supposedly. It comes back. Don't worry, guys. Maybe for the better, some might say. Anyways, Riley has a good I don't like to brag joke in there when she keeps talking about how huge this thing is. She asks if they have jetpacks, which I think is a valid
question.
I think that's
a valid question. It's a valid question because I would love a jetpack.
Yeah, sure. Everybody would. This is ridiculous. Professor Walsh is going to walk up just as they're about to smooch because nothing says romance like a cold, empty military place. Anyways,
let's smooch under the experimentation of monsters.
Well, yeah, that's certainly happening. She's going to give Buffy a visitor's pass. Gives her some classified information to bone up on while she's there, as any visitor I'm sure would be allowed to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
She gets shown
that information for a visitor.
Well,
this is a tight ship here.
Well, they aren't really hiding much because right away she's shown the pit with a couple
of
right
in the middle while they're experimenting on people, like
demons.
Right, this is right there. It's like right there. You walk down the steps, alien experimentation right there.
They do not care if anybody gets infected while they're digging around these things or whatever. They're just going to do it right there in the open. A couple of squid-faced demons. Mind you, supposedly took 8 men to take them down. The professor is going to point out Dr. Engelman here, the head of the science team. He explains that he's a leader in the field of xenomorphic behavior modification. Only a leader, not the leader, not the.
Who's being humble.
Like, how many different things is what I'm saying? How many different initiatives could there be if he's only one? And also, where do you go to school for that?
Yeah.
You figure you go to
How many other doctors are in this network?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
It's like me saying I'm the leader in biochemical engineering broadcasting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. What?
You can do that.
Exactly.
I always wondered if that was a low-key alien reference as well. The xenomorphs.
With the xenomorphs.
Yeah, probably.
Could be. Anyways, he's basically the demon's vet. He's there to do the spay and neutering. She's going to now point out the armory. You need to be clean to use those for some reason. Buffy gets nosy, gets in trouble for picking up a $20,000 comcam. A comcam is basically what a phone is now. A comcam is essentially what this thing is on top of my computer. It costs $30. It does the exact same thing. Pretty ridiculous what things cost in 2000. Anyways, Maggie makes sure to point out also monitors the user's heart rate. Maybe that's why it costs $20,000.
Yeah,
Now it's an Apple Watch or whatever it is. It does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Buffy, of course, is going to point to the restricted area. She's curious. She's curious like a cat. It's told it's a research area, very restricted for security reasons. And then she gets a security card and a pager, adorably. She says that she's been thinking about getting one of these things. Guys, the first season, like probably one of the most famous lines in the entire series. She says, if the apocalypse comes, beat me. It would probably mean that she already had a pager, I would assume, right? Or she just wanted to say that to sound cool.
Yeah, I think she did. I think she didn't. She didn't have a pager. She never had a pager.
We never saw her with one.
Yeah.
That's true.
I always wanted a pager.
No one else had a cell phone or anything like that. I don't know.
Pagers were useful, but they were also annoying because if someone paged you and you weren't near a phone, you couldn't call them back.
Yeah.
I think it was a big deal for drug dealers.
It was.
Yeah.
Watch The Wire, guys.
Big deal.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah, there's an entire episode about it.
No. This one, fortunately, or unfortunately for Buffy, only the initiative has a number. She is then welcomed onto the team. She's now a proud member of the initiative. Don't know if she gets paid. I don't know if she's actually going to be making any money. So,
well, the U.S. government's paying her, so
I don't know if she ever gets a job.
Yeah. No. Well, she was only on the job for like 3 days.
If that. Yeah. If that. Now,
2.5.
So that's you're jumping ahead here. Anyway,
sorry, my bad.
Willow and Tara are talking. Tara's showing off her grandma's doll's eye crystal that she's brought by. Willow's been looking for one for months. She says since June. We're assuming this is about the same time since it was Buffy's birthday. The one before is probably about February. Tara wants her to have it. Willow doesn't quite feel comfortable taking a family heirloom. And she's only just starting to get to know this girl, even if she thinks it's sweet for her to do so. She offers to try some spells with it, though, which Tara gets pretty excited for. She asks, if they can do it that evening, but Willow has the plans of the bronze guys. So this is when that stutter comes back. You can tell when Willow's starting to feel like a bit of an outsider and stuff like that if she brings the stutter back. It's never nice when it happens, but Willow asks if it's okay to do it another time, or she asks Willow if it's okay to do another time, and Willow says, yeah, absolutely. And it's just that it's a specific crowd tonight and doesn't want her to feel out of place. Then Tara heads to class. So, Willow's trying to think about her. She's also going to say later that, maybe she wants to keep Tara to herself for a little bit. But anyways, we see Maggie go into 314. Famous 314. Dr. Engelman's going to ask how the tour went. Walsh says Buffy's unpredictable. That can't be good. And then he thinks that she's an unnecessary risk. She sort of agrees about it and then asks how their baby's doing. He says nicely, all reflexes and motor functions are off the charts here, Ferris. This pleases her quite a bit. She then tells Adam it's almost time to wake up. So this is when we actually see him, hideous, like Frankenstein. That's also has some maybe some robot parts or something like that tacked onto it. He's played by George Herzenberger. Some of the things he was in leading up to this and afterwards, he was in Taken, which is all right. He was in Jag, Ferris, NCIS, Bunny. That's all the classics. Home Improvement.
Ferris is fist pumping that.
Yeah, he's also.
He looks like the star from Jag.
He is not. He is famously not. Anyways, he's one of two people though that I know of from Glens Fall, New York. Can you think of the other? Time's up. The other, of course, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
What?
Yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan from Glen Falls, New York. Yes, so at least that's how he's introduced. So she says she knows he'll make her proud. So I guess Maggie's a little off her rocker for someone who's dealing with psychology and stuff.
A little off of the rocker, Rob. That's a compliment.
She's the doc. You know what? She's the doctor, not me. So we get to the bronze. Xander's explaining a simplified version of capitalism to Anya concerning boost bars. The more he sells, the prettier things she gets. He then suggests leaving since it's late. Buffy hasn't shown up. Willow's going to remind him of that. She's an hour late at this time. This is not uncommon for Buffy when she has these things. It was the same thing with Faith, but she's going to show. Willow's knows she's going to show at this point, and she's rewarded here pretty quick. But turns out this select squad has grown because Willow's brought Riley and a bunch of the other commandos.
Buffy's brought Riley.
Sorry, Buffy has. Willow's going to do her best to sound welcoming. When Riley asks if it's okay that they come along, she doesn't want to sound like a jerk, but obviously disappointed. Riley's offering drinks. Buffy gets a Coke, which is nice. Everyone else is going to say no. Then so she's okay. We're gonna head off to the bar. Xander and Anya are gonna go dance. Riley and the boys, leave Buffy and Willow alone. Buffy's gonna apologize for all the guys showing up, but they were out celebrating with her. Got that new initiative position here, guys. Willow says she thought it would just be the Scoobs, or she would have invited someone herself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Buffy apologizes, then asks who she was going to invite, and then also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it looked like Buffy was wearing like a necklace made of hair. What was that thing she was? Maybe the worst.
Riley's hair.
Oh no! It had it was like coming off the things. Anyways,
it was Riley's hair. She chopped it off when he was.
She's gone bananas, guys. Yes. She is now creating clothing out of her boyfriends. Yep. If you can't kill him, dress up.
Remake him.
Yeah, ridiculous. Anyways, Willow's gonna stumble or whatever about who she was gonna bring, but ultimately says it was just a hypothetical thing. Buffy tells her that she's been initiated. She's in that initiative. Willow doesn't know if it's a very good idea, though. She reminds her that that they still don't know a lot about these guys, especially what their ultimate agenda is going to be, aside from all the spaying and neutering they've been doing around town. Then she's going to remind her about the 314 thing that she brought up before. But then all the beef is going to go off. Riley tells Buffy, "Mother wants us," which is ridiculously creepy.
Yeah, where did this come from? This mother thing? Because for a minute it was always like, Commander Walsh or Professor Walsh.
Yeah,
Professor. I was like, now it's mother. It just feels a little weird with the left turn in vernacular towards their
especially when Riley's in a place where you could feel free to speak. He knows, everyone there knows who he is. Mm-hmm. Why would he say mother? It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, so Buffy's going to leave now. Yes, of course. Remember that anytime that they get these new demon fighters, the Scoobies always get left behind. Mm-hmm. So I don't blame Willow for keeping her guard up about this and stuff like that. She's like, I've been here from the beginning. Goddammit, this guy's been around a week.
And also, every time she hooks up with someone who also can do the demon hunting, it always ends very badly. Faith almost destroyed, ended the world.
Well, she did murder a man as well.
As well.
Now we get to
I was referring to the more egregious thing. Murdering a man is really bad, but trying to end the world is, I think, a little bit worse.
To be fair, she was only aiding in the end of the world.
Yeah, well, aiding and abetting is also a bad thing.
Sure, you can do time for it. You can do time for sure.
Actually, I think aiding and abetting is a little bit worse.
You're not going to get the chair. You're not going to get the chair for it. No. For the actual murdering, that's probably the worst part. When I think about murder, and I do often, think the murdering is probably the worst part of that all. The helping out.
The actual act. Yes, I agree with Rob. But if you're, the people who conceal it.
Yes. Yeah. No one should be no one should keep murder secrets, for goodness sake.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. Now, we get to the initiative. Maggie's giving them all instructions on an overhead lamp. I bet you they had to pay more for that overhead lamp this season than they expected. Mm-hmm. So they're going to put it into a couple episodes. So we got it in Hush.
Absolutely.
And they got it with this one here. They're showing off a Polgara, which on the thing or whatever I thought looked like a creature from the Black Lagoon, maybe with some spikes or something. It has more almost tentacly things going off his face instead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it also has bone skewers that pop out of its wrists, like a reverse.
Like Bakara from Mortal Kombat.
I was going to say Wolverine, or was that?
That too. Yeah. Wolverine comes from the fists.
Yeah,
Bakara comes.
That's what I'm saying.
If you played Mortal Kombat, Bakara, his swords come from his wrist forearm, like from right here it goes like a giant sword, like two giant swords. You should play Mortal Kombat.
Deadpool used to have that thing too. He used to be able
we don't talk about that movie at all.
No, I was talking about the comic book.
Lady Deathstrike and X2, hers came out of her fingertips.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyways, could that be the worst power to have? Anyways,
a lot of stuff coming out of a lot of orifices.
Yeah, the Dr. Angram's telling them it's imperative the arms aren't damaged while getting it. Then here comes the questions from Buffy, and this is the most Buffy thing ever. She wants to know why, and she's told they want to study the demon's self-defenses, and then she asks what they want. Why are they here? Then they said, well, they're not sentient; they're only destructive. Walsh suggests putting a uniform on. But Buffy, has she's taken down a lot of demons in that halter top. She's fine just the way she is. She then asks that all questions be kept until the doctor is finished, and the doctor says, "Oh, actually, I'm all finished." I really like that line a lot. She gets Riley to deploy the teams. Walsh reminds them to trap this bloody thing, not kill him. Guys, don't kill him. Whatever
See,
you did.
I think that's where Walsh was like, yeah, I'm done with this girl. She asking too many questions. Because Walsh is very used to like having a very, I tell you what to do, you do it, that's it. Because she's dealing, yeah, it's, that's what you want, robots. And a lot of the soldiers are robots. Riley's two homies are robots. Riley's robotic, but he seems like he has a little bit of free will. And then you have Buffy here, who is been the Slayer since she was 16. Imagine a teenager being tasked with saving the world, and her only boss or handler is a bumbling British guy. You know what I mean?
They're not that called Giles bumbling.
He's a little bit bumbling. Come on, Adele. He gets knocked out like every other week. He's kind of bumbling.
He hasn't been knocked out in quite some time. Like every time,
him and Wesley Wyndham Price are very bumbly guys. I'm a big fan of them, but they're bumbly. They're bumbly.
Guys, tune in to the Rewatchers Council Angel Edition on Fridays, especially this Friday, if you want to hear about bumbling and Wesley. For goodness sakes. Anyways.
So she doesn't take direction. And she will, and she's, and well, also too, here's the thing that's what I like about Giles is he taught her to always ask questions.
Sure.
Always ask questions, always investigate, always read the books about the monsters, always try to find out more. So she's like,
even though he gaslights her almost every time. It's like, well, that can't possibly be.
That too.
Can't possibly be.
See, you know what? That's worse. He's bumbling and a gaslighter. What a horrible handler. He's such a horrible, horrible person.
How dare you? Anyways, we're going to see kind of an important moment in the history of the show now, because Will is going to go to Tara's door, explaining that her previous engagement had ended a little abruptly here. Asks nervously if she's still interested in doing anything. Tara's going to seem very excited about this and invites her in. That's all that scene is. But I remember after this episode aired, like on Entertainment Tonight and all those shows, there's a lot of questions being asked. Anyways, Buffy's telling Riley that she thinks the professor hates her. Riley assures her she's just not used to being questioned, which is, I believe, we brought up quite a bit here, especially by someone who never does in class. I thought Buffy did good in class. She got to lead her own little thing for a while. I don't understand that.
And then Buffy, and then Riley stepped in it when he said a phrase that that threw everything off.
Yeah, he says to her that Professor
she liked
Walsh,
you before I did.
Professor Walsh liked you before I did. So then asks that they talk later as he needs to focus, as he doesn't have the Slayer superpowers. And then she just asks, wait, you didn't like me? I thought he was into Willow to beginning, to be sure. Anyways, Forrest is whining to Graham. Forrest is a whiny guy. Whining Graham.
Forrest needs to go back on that drum line. That's what Forrest needs to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Jeez.
He needs to learn. He needs to learn one band, one sound. That's what Forrest needs to learn. That's what he needs to learn.
I have never watched that movie. Probably never will. Anyway,
you should, Rob. You should, man.
I'll watch it after all the Fridays. I'll watch it.
Oh my God, Rob! This is crazy, dog.
All right. Anyways, Buffy's been taking too much attention from Riley. He's not focused enough attention on Forrest, I guess. Anyways, he thinks she's a little bit of a homewrecker. Graham is starting to give him the gears about all this when he notices something, guys. It's Hostel 17. So, also, Hostel 17 carrying a grocery bag. which didn't make any sense to me unless it was full of blood, but we never got to see it. Anyways, a couple of soldiers are going to try and nab him.
You can get things other than food at a grocery store.
Yeah, you can get a lot of other things.
Blood? You better hope
not
so.
blood, but you can get other things at a grocery store.
Hey, he does like liquor, that's for sure, and smokes. Which he says he bought. He bought it on. Well, he said he bought booze and or blood and smokes, but we'll see. Anyways, these couple soldiers attack him. He manages to fend them off and remain relatively, migraine free somehow. But then we got Graham here shooting him with a tracer. Now, the soldier's going to walk up to Riley and says, Graham's on the talkie with you. On the talkie. The talkie, guys, is a flip phone. Not a walkie-talkie, a flip phone. I never ever called a flip phone, a cell phone, a talkie. It really, really bothered me when he said this.
When he said talkie, I thought he meant like the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought he meant. And then he pulls out a cell phone. I'm like, why don't you just call it a phone?
I think they wrote it and then figured out they didn't have a walkie-talkie and then just said, just use this. This will be fine, guys. And it really bothers me. Still to this
honestly,
day.
Man, if that happened to me, I would be like, the hell are you talking about right now?
Anyways, like most flip phones, the call's a little staticky, and then no one notices the Pulgaris are attacking. So we're going to get, guys, a little slow-mo-y. When it gets slow-mo-y, we're going to get montage-y. So we're going to see, while all this is going on, Buffy and Riley are going to start making out. They're going to start fighting the demon. Clothes are going to get removed at this point. They're going to keep fighting the demon with its bone skewers out, guys. They defeat it, and ultimately, Riley and Buffy bone skewer each other. While the professor creepily watches. Now, this girl. Come on.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Anyways, Xander's going to try and sell boost bars to Giles. This is where we get the flavors, guys. Yep, the cherry berry, delicious. Maple walnut, which is a popular flavor. And then one of the worst flavor combinations I've ever heard of in my entire life, almond licorice. Can't imagine.
It sounds disgusting.
Can't imagine.
Disgusting.
There's only one good licorice flavor, and that's the red.
Yep, I don't disagree. I'm not a big black licorice fan. I'll drink.
No one is, Rob.
I'll drink a Sambuca. I'll drink an Ouzo. Fennel is fine. Those are all anise flavored things. But I'm just not a big fan of black licorice. There you go.
Do you like your Sambuca?
I don't. I'm, a grown up. But also, it's not like I crave a Sambuca. It's just I've had it once in a while. If you're
Mark Ruffalo,
I prefer Ouzo.
The reason I know that because Mark Ruffalo once lit up a Sambuca.
Oh yeah, well, lots of people do. I don't get it, but yeah.
I don't drink, so I don't know, Rob.
Yeah, let's hear. It's an experiment. Let's see if we can burn our eyebrows off. That'll be fun for a drink that has 25% alcohol, maybe less. Anyways, Anya's going to argue to him instead of trying to do the selling, just have Giles give him the money so that she can buy pretty things. He's going to understand because he's that kind of a guy. Giles
Almost worked.
He tries the maple walnut, takes one bite, and then tells him to leave his premises immediately. Yeah. Maple walnut. And then Xander starts.
It sounds like a good flavor. Like maple walnut.
It's a good donut. It's a good donut, guys.
Yeah.
So Xander scrambles. He's like, well, maybe you're a cherry berry kind of guy. No one is an almond licorice guy, by any means. I hear a knock on the door, and in busts a tarp-covered Spike, and they really had to work around to the Scoobies during the day for sure. He's explaining what happens. Giles is wondering how this is any of their concern, since Spike wants nothing more to do with them. This hurts Xander's feelings for some reason. Yes. And he shows them where he got shot. Giles again asks why he should help him. Spike says that they're the good guys. But Giles wants a better answer. Spike reminds him that he helped when Giles was turned into a Fioro demon just the week before. Giles asks why he did that. Spike remembers he made Giles pay, and then what little color he had rushes out of his face when he gets it, hands over all that's left, the $300, which isn't much.
I'm pretty sure it was like, well, this was before inflation, so he probably still had $100.
Maybe.
Or $150.
Maybe. Let's call him a right bastard for it, which is
I don't
very
think
English
we
thing
could
to say.
this is before inflation.
That's true.
It's definitely inflation then.
Yeah. But $300 gets you a lot of groceries. Not anymore. Maybe
I think $300 could get you a lot further then than it could now. That's for
then
sure.
also too, how much did the blood cost?
Yeah, I've you know what I've never done in my entire life? Bought a pint of blood.
Yeah.
What
are the blood economics of this world with Angel and Buffy? Like, how much does a pint of blood cost for a non-killing vampire?
How much money is blood money when you come to think of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
Like, do you charge different prices for different bloods? Like, you want the
neg? O would be like the vanilla, right?
Everybody likes. Like, everyone want the O. Or like, I got you some blood from a cow, and this is blood from a pig.
Sure. They've been consuming a lot of that.
Exactly.
That's their kind of deal. Exactly. Now, if they can get like an AB negative.
That's top tier stuff right there, man. That's probably like a $1,000 whiskey bottle type stuff.
A little oaky,
Yeah.
A little bit of spice on the end. Oh exactly, yeah. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. So Buffy's gonna wake up after
I am hungry.
She's had a busy night, and she's startled that someone actually stayed in bed with her the entire time. Oh, good old Riley. They're gonna start.
Well, the last two times.
Yeah, well,
one became a murderous demon,
and one became worse. One became worse.
The other one's a scumbag.
One's broken. Yeah. And he was around. He just went to the, get her some breakfast. But anyways, now we're gonna see Riley's cuckoo clock alarm go off for some reason because he's a grown man, and that's his reminder to take his vitamins, guys. So you're saying,
hey man, you gotta take your vitamins, man. I gotta start taking vitamins.
He's been trained to do this by the government, by the way. He tells them he didn't volunteer for this. He was ordered. This is he didn't get to pick. This is what he was told to do. She asked if he's curious.
Out of basic training.
Yeah, if he's curious about what's been going on there. He says he knows all he needs to know, that they're protecting the public because he's a noble dude. Then Buffy asks what 314 is. He doesn't get the answer. He's a phone call interrupting him. There's a situation. Guys, another situation. It's a busy day. Busy couple of days over at the initiative. And when we get down there, Riley is going to peek into the restricted section. Maybe Buffy's influence is already rubbing off a little bit on him. He's going to peek into the thing. He's going to see the door, 314. But, of course, Professor Walsh, always there, buzzes him, tells him to meet up with Forrest and Graham to go catch Hostile 17. Enough is enough with this guy. And then tells him to make her proud. All right. She tells the Dr. Engelman that they got a situation. He asks the Slayer. It's turned out to be a goddamn liability. And since she holds influence over Agent Finn, he suggests the contingency scenario. Is there a more bland thing to say about anything ever? The contingency scenario. Anyways, it's a damn shame because she would have been a powerful ally, just like Luke Skywalker, guys. Meanwhile, he just removed the Polgara's arm while doing all this. Oh, brother. Well, I wonder what's going to happen with that. Giles is playing Operation himself on Spike. He sees something blinking in the wound. Asks Anya to grab the brandy so Spike can anesthetize himself. Why would you need to anesthetize Spike? What possible bacteria can grow in something that's already dead? I have no idea. Yeah. Anyway, so
why is he feeling pain? Like that's the thing. Like you're dead.
Yeah, he feels pain all the time. He hears it. I
was throwing me off. I was like, they cut a hole deep in his skin. They were sticking that tweezer in, and they were trying to pull that out. Crazy.
I'm surprised. How deep is Spike's body? Because it takes them an awfully long time.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Anyways, they don't have much time here because Xander's soldier sense knows that what's in him is a tracer. They're going to get rid of this thing quick. Giles is worried about his surgeoning skills. It's like the guy is basically a zombie that sucks blood. You know what I mean? Just get the damn thing out of there. Buffy gets back to the dorm now, just as Willow's gonna walk in. There's kind of a mutual, I wouldn't say walk of shame. There's nothing to be shameful about, but they each noticed that neither one of them spent the night at the room there. There's no uncomfortable questions being asked at all. Whatever. Buffy's gonna apologize for bailing. Will says, "You know what? Don't worry about it." And Buffy's pager's gonna go off again. She's got to go. Then Will gets a call from Giles. Needs her help. It wasn't calling for Buffy. This is a job only Willow can do. So we're going to get to the initiative once again. Walsh giving Buffy her orders. So this is probably very exciting for Buffy. She's going to sound like a professional. She's got to go track something in the sewers. Shouldn't be a big deal. It's only a class 3 subterrestrial. It's more like usually these things turn out to be raccoons. Still, she's going to get handed one of those shotguns, electro shotguns, just in case. And it's totally, where the comm cam, where the thing that I gave you shit about when you just barely handled it the other day. Take it out into the field against a raccoon. That'll be smart. Buffy tells her she's unclear about some things. Maggie says, well, they'll have a big talk about everything. When she comes back, don't you worry about it. Then Buffy has a nice little thing. Should I be saluting? Stuff like that.
That was a pretty funny moment.
Yeah.
Should I salute you? Like, no.
She's told no. This is also why I figure she's not going to get paid. She's not going to get a damn cent for this. So we see Willow reciting a spell now. She's going to ionize the surrounding atmosphere just to keep the initiative off their tail. Spike is looking a little hammered. Here on Brandy, of all things, Willow blows the light bulbs out and their hair goes nice and poofy. Nice little sight gag here for some reason. I don't know what this whole atomizing the thing is going to do because it really doesn't keep them off the scent for very long. But they have lost the scent, the commandos. But they know it's coming from an urban area. It's civvies time once again for the initiative. They're in civvies, it seems, every week. Buffy's now in the sewer with that gun. I'm famously not fond of guns. I have no idea what she's. I don't need this bloody thing. What the hell are you doing? She's going to enter an area here. She's going to hear snarling. And she's going to call it in to base. 2 demons are going to show up now. The 2 demons from earlier on in the pit. Now, time for the second kind of Doctor Who point. I think they spent a lot of money on sets and different things, and probably Lindsay Krause or whatever, throughout not only this episode, but the ones leading up to it. These are probably the 2 worst demons they've ever done. Just a couple guys in cloaks and masks. It looks like, second Doctor style aliens and stuff like that. Like, I'm surprised they don't just have a couple strings on a rubber mat on the ground. That's basically what these things are.
I don't know who the second Doctor is, so I don't know that.
You are a monster.
Is that Christopher Eccleston?
No, that is the 8th Doctor. Is that right?
How many doctors were in the 1960 show?
6 or 7, 5.
Damn.
6, 7.
Damn.
7. Yeah. So you'd be the 9th Dr. Eccleston. Anyways, we're going to talk about these bloody alien guys. Her ray gun is, of course, faulty. She tries it. It just breaks. It's a little staticky, though. And the sewer ends up caging her in, which isn't great. But, Buffy's fine with this. She's just going to fight these guys. Ridiculous. And the professor's going to watch the fight. She's watching also Buffy's heart rate via the cam. 145 beats per minute. I don't know if that's good or bad. I have no idea.
I'm with you, Al. Is that good to do you?
145 beats per minute for your heart.
That's high.
It's an elevated thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy. The monitors are in the open there. So others are walking around. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody. I think everybody else has their job to do. Only Maggie's watching. And as the demons attack, Buffy is going to go down here, guys. The heart rate flatlines. And then there's just a question mark on the end. It's like beats per minute, question mark. It's like, Maggie does
I think she's dead.
Yeah, Maggie does a quick look around here. just keeps sipping her cup of coffee. Yeah. So we're going to go back onto the streets now. The commandos have picked up the signal once again. They're within a 2-block radius. Giles finally gets this bloody thing out. Again, how could this have taken so long? It's not like it was wee little. It's a pretty big goddamn thing. He fishes it out. Forrest is getting a positive signal now. They're going to start running towards it. Xander grabs the beacon. Commandos then notice the signal's going to come at them at a high rate of speed. They're preparing to fight, and then passes right by. Riley then notices the sewer gate. He knows the bloody thing was flushed. Meanwhile, guys, good news. Buffy isn't dead. Just had the device knocked off. So there was a cam and a listening device and stuff like that, and Maggie never paid attention that these things were getting the shit kicked out of them still.
Yeah,
anyways,
it doesn't make much sense.
Not much sense. She's especially because she's beating the shit out of them pretty good. One is going to axe the other one in the chest like a clumsy goof. The axe then gets thrown into the sewer water. It's going to knock Buffy down. The electro gun is going to start crackling again, just to remind us it's all broken and working. Still powered. The demon's going to retrieve the axe. Buffy throws the proverbial toaster into the bathtub. We got one less crispy demon. So, at the initiative, Riley is back, giving Maggie the bad news that Hostile 17 got through their fingers again. But she's going to give him worse news, I guess. Buffy's died. It's one of the worst things she's ever going to have to tell him. She did all she could to stop her from tracking those demons down alone. Riley isn't getting this. Walsh is lamenting not being able to stop her. When you're going to see Miss Summers grab the camcom behind her. Maggie's still going on, saying it's hard not to blame herself. Now Buffy's going to start talking and saying that she knows the retcon mission was all baloney, that she was put in a trap, and if she thought she could kill her like that, she has no idea what a Slayer is. Pretty sure they all didn't know what a Slayer was before this, and it's just compounding the confusion now. So she's going to find out, though. Don't worry about it. Walsh then turns to Riley. Riley doesn't look happy. I think it's fair to say he doesn't look impressed, or for that matter, relieved that his girlfriend's alive. Either one. He's just kind of stone-faced. He just walks off, ignoring the professor.
Shackles of army orders are finally falling through.
Yeah,
she's no longer a happy-go-lucky guy.
She drops the professionalism though too. It's like she isn't calling her Agent Finn anymore. She's yelling after him Riley. So yeah, you know what? He's upset, and I don't blame him. Giles is going to tell Spike he should leave Sunnydale. Spike says no, not till we get everything reversed here. And then Xander is a little snarky here. He says to explain to the scientist just how much he enjoys torturing and killing human beings. I'm sure they'll be happy to reverse everything for him. Spike honestly asks if that would work, which is good for you. Stick to your guns. Giles tells him that it's not safe for him while the initiative's in town, which, of course, Buffy is going to dramatically walk in just at that time and says it's not safe for any of them. Walks into the middle of a conversation like she's on NCIS. It's one of the things I don't like about that show the most. How as soon as somebody's needed, they walk onto the show with more information. So, back to the initiative.
They were going back to their office, Rob. You're hating. They're going back to home base to update more. You know what? Screw you, Robert.
Well, Maggie's going to be returning now to 314. Goes to Adam. She promises she's going to give these interlopers the fight they've been asking for. She's worried that she's been doing this for too long just to let some bitch ruin her project. She says Buffy has no idea who she's dealing with. Riley's going to fall back in line. Don't you guys worry when she's gone. He'll see. It's for the greater good. Once again, this gets brought up. And if he doesn't, first, she should remove the complication. And when she least expects it, but guys, we're never going to know what she least expects. Because this is where the creators do the thing that they enjoy doing maybe the most in the world.
Yeah.
They have Adam stick his new Pulgaric skewer through Maggie's chest. Maggie Walsh gets killed. The thing pops out. Then we see Adam standing over her, and all she says is "mommy," which is also creepy. So
Yes.
Yeah,
Adam's up.
that's like mother. Okay, I don't know. Huh?
None of
This
this.
is weird, man.
None of
This
this
is
is
weird.
good. None of
This
this
is
is
just
good.
weird.
None of this is
Yeah.
great. None of this is great. But you know what was great? Getting to talk about this episode with the both of you, the council reunited. Adelia, thank you
It
so much.
felt very good.
Yeah.
How
It's good
about
to be
telling
back.
us? How about telling us, Adelia, what you're going to be up to here on the good ship? Let's get ready, network.
Well, over on the Good Friends Better Rivals channel tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific, Ferris and I are doing an episode of The Rally where we are recapping the Wimbledon semifinals and previewing the finals this weekend. We got a good women's final set today. The men's semifinals are tomorrow, so check that out. And probably going to be maybe on the Guardians of the Galaxy MCU um, Rewatchers Council on Saturday. And that's about it right now.
Guardians of the Galaxy is so good.
Love it.
Ferris Muthana, you've been sitting here patiently.
Yes.
Why don't you let everybody know what you're going to be up to?
Same as Adelia. Plus, I'll be doing Good Friends Better Rivals tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I mean, Kib, we talk NFC East. We'll be talking about the positional groups of the NFC East. So there's that, the defensive positional groups. But that's pretty much it. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, yesterday I bought the soundtrack on
Which
vinyl.
one?
It's
Which
really
one?
good.
The first one.
Oh, they're all pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Now that's 5 o'clock Pacific
Yes, 5 o'clock Pacific.
for the flagship Good Friends Better Rivals.
The eponymous podcast.
That's true. Oh, look
The
at
what?
Little Miss Fancy Pants. Okay,
The
now
epo-
because
the what?
we also
The
have
podcast is the same name as the channel, so it's the eponymous podcast.
Oh.
that's right. It's self-titled. Now, the Rewatchers Cancel Angel Edition also going to return tomorrow, also at 5 o'clock, but at the proper 5 o'clock Central Time. We're going to be talking about She. It's a interesting episode to talk about for sure. So join us for that. LGRN After Snark coming back this weekend. Danny and I are going to talk about Squid Game 3, what we thought of it. I think as the French say, comme ci, comme ça. You know what I mean?
Mama say mamakusa.
Mama say, mama sa, mamangusa. Now, guys, on behalf of Adelia, Ferris, and myself, and also, of course, from Maggie Walsh, R.I.P., we're going to wish you all a good night.